So the question that everyone has right now is the cure worse than the disease? Are we moving through so much economic hardship right now, regardless of the why?
No, what we need is a cure. The problem is that we're spending money on palliative care, but we're not addressing what we need to do to have the cure. The cure is to make it safe for everybody to go back to work and resume daily life. And there's a way to get there that doesn't require everybody being in lockdown for months, even years on end. The trick is just you identify who are the people who are infectious, you isolate them, and you let everybody else return to business as usual.
So you're not the first person necessarily say that. I was talking to a doctor yesterday who said also you could do is you could take workers that are out of work right now and use them to help facilitate this testing environment to then get people back to work. Logistically, how does all of that work?
Well, before you think about how you're putting unemployed people back to work, just think about we've got doctors, we've got nurses, we've got police officers, people running utilities. They all have to be at work anyway. So what are the kinds of things that we can do to make this safe? The first thing is test people and test them repeatedly. So you identify who is infectious, and then you pull them off the line so they don't infect their coworkers, they don't infect the public. The other thing is you got to provide these key workers protective equipment so that if they deal with a member of the public who's sick, who needs help, the protection will keep them from getting exposed. So the best way we could spend stimulus money is not with just giveaways or checks, but to spend billions of dollars as fast as we can on scaling out testing and rapidly increasing the production of protective equipment.
So it doesn't feel like that's going to happen, at least in the short term. So would you then advocate returning to work faster than we thought, like President Trump seems to intimate? Or would you advocate like a 3-month shutdown like St. Louis Fed President Jim Bullard seems to be advocating?
No, I think we have to make it work. And here's one way to do it. Scale out the tests very rapidly. If we're going to spend, hundreds of billions, trillions of dollars, we could spend some of that to get tests ready. And then what you do is you tell the people, if you've tested negative today, you can go back to work. And you work for, days, a week maybe, you get tested again. So instead of telling everybody whether they're sick or not, you can go back to work, you start testing people, you let the people who are not testing positive be the ones who go back to work.
When you look at then that outcome, what modeling do you have in terms of what it does do to GDP, et cetera?
Yeah. So I think the first thing to ask is can this contain the disease? And I've been doing some modeling. I'm looking at the epidemiological models. If we test people repeatedly, we can just quarantine those who test positive, and we can stop this virus in its tracks. And it doesn't take a perfect test for this to work. Even if a test has what they call a false negative rate, 20%, you just keep retesting people. You can still catch them within a day or two of when they become infectious. So, we just have to spend, a substantial fraction of the stimulus money to take the tests that we already have, the science, the technologies already established here, just build this stuff out and make it ubiquitous. We should have testing, people staffing testing centers in Walmarts and Starbucks, in the police department headquarters, and we should just scale this out as fast as we can, because if we don't, we're going to face this just terrible choice between letting more people die versus destroying the economy.
How much money would something like this ballpark cost?
We're in the realm of the unknown. But if we're talking about spending $1 trillion, $2 trillion, I just think it's foolish, incredibly foolish, to not spend $50 billion, $100 billion in the next few months to address the problem that we can fix and that can cure the underlying condition. Spend that money on protection for people and on tests, and that's what's going to let people start to go back to work.